Okay, everyone, let's go take this Wagoneer S on a charging run because we have 7% battery charge left. I think it has around 19 miles of range left. It's giving us this warning here. We actually got that warning at 20%, but it's definitely gone down. We've put in a charger here, but for some reason it thinks we'll get to the charger with 20% battery, which is odd. So that might not be a little bit accurate. We can actually put a map up here as well. Let's see if we can cycle through our gauges. So we can also have that map view up here. So that's kind of nice. But we're definitely going to need to charge this thing real quick. Hopefully we won't have any issues there. It says it can charge around 200-ish kilowatts, which is pretty good. We're not going to be charging up to 100% here. We're going to probably charge around 60 or 80%. So we'll see how long that takes. But hopefully it all goes well because we are very, very low in this battery pack. Let's go head off. Okay, everyone, so we have arrived at the Tesla supercharger with a whopping 6% of range left on this battery pack. And I want to show you guys, we have 18 miles left. We've traveled over the course of this week. I reset this trip computer when I got the vehicle, 268 miles, and it says we have 17 miles left. So add those together, that's honestly right around what the EPA claims this vehicle can do on a charge, which I guess is pretty good. I was expecting a little bit more since this has such a large battery, and the average efficiency is pretty high, but I guess if it can hit around the EPA numbers, that's not bad. But let's go charge. We're at a Tesla supercharger here. I don't believe we were able to precondition because of how low we are in this battery pack, but we're going to see how this all comes together. And I wish the car would tell us how long it would take for a charge time, because if you turn off the vehicle here, it only tells us an hour, 100%. So it says an hour and 19 minutes to 100%, and some other charge times there for different levels. But we'll see if it updates when I plug it in right now. So let's go do this and activate the charging. Okay, guys, exiting the car. Let's go open up our charge port door. We do got to pull up real far back because for the older generation Tesla superchargers here with the non-long cables. We do have the magic connectors on this one, so all I have to do is hold it in here and it should connect. Okay, guys, let's try that again. The other charger actually was not working. So I'm gonna go back over here, open up our charge port door, open up our little door here. Hopefully we have success on this one. Yes, we got the magic connector on there. So all I have to do is plug it in. And now I'm going to go over to my Tesla app and activate the charging. Okay, everyone. So we are charging. I'm going to turn on the vehicle, see if we have any information for it to show us. So unfortunately, the Dodge had the same thing with this. It doesn't really show you any information of charging status while you are charging the vehicle. I think if we go to the power flow, it kind of has like this weird little pulsing thing there, which is funny. But I had the same issue in the Dodge where it doesn't really show you what's going on with the charging. I don't really like that, as this is an electric vehicle, and I kind of want to see some cool charging screens, even if I'm just sitting here and charging, even scrolling through all of these pages here. But you can see the range is indeed going up really quick. Actually, we've already gone up to 8%. So that's cool. But you really have to turn the car off to kind of see any sort of charging information. So I'm going to turn it off right now. And now we get that one charging screen right there. So our range, estimated time to 80 is 31 minutes, which is actually not too bad. 100% is an hour and 18 minutes. So we'll test that. It's 12:49 right now. We'll see how long it gets to even just 68%. We may just stop there. And I'll let you guys know what's going on with a little bit of an update there. Otherwise, we do get a little bit of a charging indicator right there. But honestly, that is about it, which is a little bit strange. I wish there was a little bit better of charging information on the vehicle just to see what's happening while we are charging. But well, guys, I'll update you guys later on. Okay, everyone, I'm going to overlay this, but this exact same thing happened in the Dodge Charger Daytona. The charging rate literally just completely tanked off and dropped down to like 2 kilowatts. And we are seeing that right now. It's almost like halted in terms of its charging speed. I don't know why it did this. The last time the same thing happened, then it just ramped back up after a little bit of time. A little bit of a strange thing. And while we are just sitting here, hopefully it fixes itself, unless I have to go unplug it and plug it back in again. There really isn't much to kind of keep yourself occupied with in here. There's no app store really to kind of play around with, to see any other like fun things, or download like a TV screen or something like that. I think that would have been a cool thing to have in here. I guess you can kind of just, manage a lot of your settings. play around with different things, but overall there really isn't too much stuff. And like I mentioned, the electric vehicle settings are just really basic. I wish there was more information there to kind of see what's happening with our charging status, because like I mentioned, the only way to really do that is to turn the vehicle off, and then you get a screen that pops up there for a very brief amount of time, which is a little bit frustrating. But I guess what you could do while here is, turn on your ventilated or heated seats depending on the climate conditions, and you can activate your driver and passenger massage functions on here as well, which I guess could be fun to do. So there really isn't much. And then even with the passenger screen up here, turning that on, there really isn't much to do on there either. You really can just view the cameras or the maps, or connect a Nintendo Switch or something on there. But I think our charging speed has popped back up finally, so that's nice to see. So again, overall, pretty fine charging process. There's some little hiccups here that we're noticing that has been a common thing on the Stellantis large architecture. So hopefully it's just a software glitch and it could be fixed very easily. Okay, everyone. So we have been out here for 32 minutes. And unfortunately, we are not at 80%. We are just at 61%. The car did estimate that we would get to 80 at around 30 minutes. Unfortunately, that's due to its funky charging issues. So it just keeps randomly dropping the speed to like 2 kilowatts and ramps right back up all the way up to like 130 kilowatts of speed. So really odd stuff going on here. This is the same experience we had in the Dodge Charger EV, which is on a version of the Stellantis large architecture as well. So a lot of similar electric components. So that's a little bit odd and a little bit concerning. I hope they're able to fix that, because I know this thing does charge fast when it can, but it just keeps dropping its charging curve for some reason. So I think we're going to head out around now at around 61% state of charge. We have 172 miles. We've put in quite a hefty amount of kilowatt hours into this battery pack. Actually, it's I think it's around 50 kilowatt hours we put in. So around 172 miles of range from that is okay, I would say. But so far, this has been our charging experience with the vehicle. It hasn't been particularly fantastic. And like I mentioned before, basically a full charge from the last trip that we got here. We landed here around 6% from around 96%. We traveled 268 total miles from around a 93 kilowatt hour usable battery pack. So that's really what you're going to expect out of this Jeep Wagoneer S. It is generally efficient, but not efficient enough really to kind of get a high range or over 300 miles, even though in certain configurations the EPA rating does say it can get around 303, 302-ish miles, but I don't know if it's going to be doing that in the real world. I think we're going to end the testing around now, maybe around 65%, unplug, head off, and I will meet you guys on the next charging journey. Okay, guys, we're sitting here, and I just noticed this as the screen is actually in front of us. Our miles per kilowatt hour average efficiency has been gradually increasing since we've been sitting here on my trip that I've set. I'm not too sure why it's doing this. Maybe because I turned the vehicle on so we can use our massage and AC, because it is a little toasty out today. But I'm not sure if it's going based off the charging, based off time, but there's no reason that I think this should be increasing its efficiency while we're sitting here not moving. Look, there it's just doing it right now, actually. So now I'm totally taking this entire thing into consideration of has this been accurate over the course of the week at all? Or is it just, climbing as long as the vehicle is on? I'm not too sure. I wish there was a little bit more of a straight answer out of that, but I think it's a little bit odd that that number is increasing its efficiency while we're not moving nor using really much of this battery pack. We're actually just gaining charge as we're sitting here charging. So really interesting thing there. Again, I hope this is another software thing that could be fixed. Brand new vehicle, so there are definitely some kinks to be worked out, but that's just one thing I did notice while we are sitting here charging. Okay, everyone, we are now at 80% state of charge, so we are ready to go. We have 222 miles, and I can tell you now it has taken way longer than 30 minutes. It's now 1:30. We started this charge at around 12:49, so definitely took a little bit longer than advertised, or at least estimated on the guessometer here, but we're going to go unplug now. Just power off the vehicle. Now it says to 103 hours and 52 minutes. Oh boy, that should not be right on a fast charger. So 223 miles of range. We put around 75 kilowatt hours into the battery pack as well. So lots of stuff there. I'm gonna press this button to stop the charging. There we go. Pop it back in there, close our little door up there, and voila, we're ready to head off. So interesting charging experience, everyone, for sure. But let's head off and we'll see if we're going to be charging again in the Wagoneer S.